We didn't have a real indication that anything was wrong with Elliot until he was about 18 months old.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That saying goodbye was actually about the first words that we ever heard him speak out loud. Other than that, there were some other behaviors that were a little unusual, a little odd, but nothing really totally alarming.
What do you got there, Elliot?
There was really nothing really outrageous or extraordinary about his behavior, but the biggest indicators that anything was wrong were first that he didn't really have any speech at 18 months, any real words, and also a type of behavior they had called stimming, which was where he would flap his arms a lot.
Hi, Elliot. Elliot, look at me. Hey. Okay, how about ready?
Yeah, I think we noticed that there were things about him that really weren't natural for kids, and particularly after the diagnosis, some of the things that he did really stood out a lot more. You know, some minor repetitive behaviors, lack of eye contact.
Elliot, where are you? There you are.
Never no inquisitiveness in him at all. Things that
swim in the kiddie
his
pool.
Age and earlier.
He's very interested in cars. He loves to run around our car in the driveway. Here he's just going back and forth between these two. And you can see the footprints on the pavement where he's going back and forth. Just been doing this for about 5 minutes, just back and forth.
That's Elliot dancing to his cousin Mia's singing performance. He's always been a very happy and outgoing kid, and I think we're very lucky that we had such an affectionate, happy little boy.
9. Heck.
Oh!
Heck.
So therapy begins. Initially, it's speech and occupational therapy. Here's Elliot with his speech therapist, and there's a lot of what it looks like is just sort of playing with him, but they're really trying to just kind of draw him out and get him to interact with people and you know, express what he wants and identify things and just communicate in sort of the normal modes that, you know, children need to communicate through sort of normal developmental progress.
Oh, good boy. Boom. Whoa.
Okay, we're told to watch out. We're told to watch out first.
We felt very lucky to have the people from early intervention visit our house about 4 times a month and work with Elliot and teach us the skills that we needed to cope and to help him with his therapy.
Thank you. You ready?
We found out later that it used to be the parents would get 14 to 20 hours a week of that kind of therapy from the county. Because of cutbacks, that's no longer the case.
Yes, Peg.
These were some of the sort of early indications of his speech developing and making requests and simple responses and just sort of starting to sound out words.
Help me. Yes. Help. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Stop.
This is Elliot in his developmental preschool, where he spent 2 days a week later on, starting when he was about 2.5 years old.
Hello. Yeah, Elliot, over here. Here, put the boot on.
Thanks, Kaden. Go sit down. Where is Elliot? Where is Elliot?
The school is part of the public education system run by the county and had extremely capable and dedicated people staffing it. I was in the class with other kids approximately his age, about 3 or 4 kids typically, and they would usually have like enough assistants so that every kid had kind of one assistant working with them. But after the budget cuts, they had to lay off a bunch of stuff, and That's no longer the case, but it's still a great program.
Okay, come out on the counter. I like how you tried the Jello.
Go, let's count. 1, 2, 3.
The Jello.
Oh yeah, they've got to be facing the right way, huh?
Three.
We have 3 of them. There you go.
Take a sip.
What you want? Sim.
You got water in there.
Take a sip.
Good boy, nice drink. That was a good drink.
You can see how they would use picture exchange cards to help teach them how to communicate for things. It was really remarkable how well it worked, and I think he learned a lot of his basic abilities to make requests and communicate in that program. We also chose to use something called applied behavioral analysis with Elliot, which is
That's his word.
a widely accepted therapy for autistic kids that involves intensive intervention with a high number of hours per week, but it has very strong evidence to show that it has a direct impact on the development of autistic
Yeah, good job.
That was awesome. What number?
Three.
Number 3. Good job. Okay, give me train.
15.
Thank you. You're so good. Give me train. Good job. Here's some puzzle for you. Let's see. This is how. Should I help you? Oh my goodness, buddy. Can I help you? Look at. It's a
So
shoe.
Elliott's therapy involved a lead certified behavioral analyst, Sarah, who's on the left here, working with a number of sort of uncertified junior people, leading them who are experienced in this type of therapy, who work with Elliot during the week. And we had him 14 to 16 hours a week just at the ADA with all the different therapists, including Sarah.
Chicken.
It needs
I.
an eye. You're right. It needs a.
So.
What does it need? It needs. Elliot, it needs
Ice.
The evidence suggests that this therapy is most effective if you can get between 30 and 40 hours a week of one-on-one therapy. Of course,
a nose.
costs for that amount to something between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. Insurance companies aren't going to pay for any of that. Here's Elliot spelling his name for the very first time.
L
I. O. O.
O
T.
T
T.
T.
Daddy!
You did it!
So we're always seeing progress. Every day things seem to get a little better. We see new things that he does. He learns new skills. He's starting to spell a little bit. He knows all his ABCs. He can count to 40, and he loves being around people and around crowds. And he shows some things that look like sort of typical autistic behaviors, lining things up, but nothing that he obsesses about in a really negative way that a lot of kids unfortunately do. But he has just a beautiful, outgoing personality, and he's super affectionate, and we just feel like we're really lucky and never get tired of being around him.
Who's that?
Daddy.
Yes. Say, I love you.
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 I love you.